Live from Spaceship Love at 9,000 feet in the Colorado Rockies, here's Grandpa.
Aerosmith, babies, right here this morning, getting you a little jump start on the day, right here on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network, babies. Your ticket to flight here in the great daylight, your ticket to flight in the good night, goodness gracious, your ticket to flight right here as the sun rises in your heart this morning, as we radiate the love here from 9,000 feet high in the Rocky Mountain sky, babies, and above us we got 7 more peaks radiating even more love into you from 14,000 feet high in the Rocky Mountain sky, babies. Flowing this, radiating this love. We're kind of like a little transceiver here, babies. We roll it in and you roll it out again, babies. We roll it in and amplify it. It comes from you, babies. And then whatever we got to say or do, man, just flows with that energy too. So, babies, it's your heart that's got the cue and tells me what to do right here as the Oracle of Love. Oh, yeah, babies, Grandpa Peter Coyote helping you wake up this morning. This is your wake-up call. Babies, we are off to a real high flight today. I feel my wings fluffing up, man. I'm getting out my blow driver. Just going to fluff them really good, man. We're heading for 85,000 feet and then some, babies, on a hang gliding of love, man. We're hanging from the heart of love, man, flying high in the sky, and it's gravity we do defy, because there ain't no gravity, there ain't no weight, there ain't no density, there ain't no darkness. Oh, babies, ain't no light. It just all comes together quite naturally in a mix that's just really, really right. A mix from which comes forward the life. Man, the ocean of love, that's from which we arise. Babies, and then we flies. We put our foot on the earth, and babies, then to wings give birth. From the heart, babies, we get this new start. Grow those wings and sail those things way high in the air. Yeah, now you know what I mean by all of that, besides all the double talk and a lot of fun here this morning, poetry and motion and all that stuff. You know what I mean by all that? Well, babies, this morning we is reaching out with this radiant love from here in the 9,000 foot elevation of the Rocky Mountains here, and we is, wow, got the key to your heart right here, babies, and we's reaching out with that key, that great love that comes from each and every one of us all across the planetary reality called Earth. And babies, we is sharing that awakening love with you this morning. Oh, yes, indeedy. What a great way to start your week. Now, it's Labor Day down here in the old Yankee land, man, you know, and I know you guys up north are laboring too. Hell, that's so cool, man. So listen, let's celebrate the labors we ain't doing today, babies. No more slavery, babies. It's time to drop the payroll. It's time to drop the hazard, the time clock, that schedule that says we got to do this, we got to do that. Hey, listen, I'm talking to myself. Right along with this, baby, because like I say, I'm very reflective, babies. And what I feel inside is what you're going through too, babies, one way or another. We all match up. That's just the way it is, babies. It's called equity. And inside of our heart, babies, it begins in a recognition of the equalizing of energies, in all energies, inside of ourselves, and then we start to see it in the reality around us. In other words, the idea that one person is more valued than another, the idea that one's more successful than another, the idea that anybody can have anything on anybody is like just completely bonkers, man. It's just not going there. You know what I mean? Because your heart and your mind rejoin, babies, in this sense that they felt separation before this time. And now that separation is dissolved, babies, and the two, with the soul presence making 3, work together, don't you see, to bring forward a whole new kind of history. One that's removed from trauma and pain. One that says there weren't no slavery, there ain't no gain in that kind of shit. Of course, we know there is. There's gain in everything, baby. Whatever we're doing, however it happens, however it comes down, this gnarly old path we call life, baby, it's all just totally cool. Why? Because we're in service to love, the loving heart and all the time that we're just playing out here, babies, And today's the day to be recreating your life, babies. That's what recreation is. It's recreation, man. It's the only way to have fun in this here world, you betcha, is to recreate or recreate, as they say. Now, some folks think recreate's getting the boat out and going water skiing on the river and stuff like that. Some folks think it's taking it 2 steps off a mountain and flying with a hang glider on your back. Oh man, I missed that Saturday meet. I was so busy putting together videos I didn't get time to get over there. But I will. One of these days I get over that hang gliding hill and see what's happening, man. See if that little industry really has changed. I'm an old hang glider. Back when I was like about 30 years old, man, I flew for about 1.5 years, 2 years. I got fairly good at it. Just about the time I crashed and burned pretty hard, and I heard this voice tell me, hey, old man, knock it off. Next time it's your life. You know what I mean? Of course, I exaggerate the words just a bit, but that was the message I got. And wow, I tell you what, I did have to give it up after a while. I got myself all healed up. I went back and flew a few times just to show myself that I could, and then I parked that thing, and sold it. And I've been flying a little bit since, but not much. And it's like, wow, when I keep running into these people here in this country all of a sudden that are, flying, and I think maybe the universe is trying to tell me I need to get back into that stuff. What do you guys think? Can I fly high enough without a hang glider on my back, or should I consider it again? Now, I haven't gone up and really watched them fly to see how different the equipment was or anything, or go flying with them, because I can do that these days. But one of these days I will. They're up there just about every weekend. This weekend was a big old meet. Had people from all over the world out here flying over our beautiful San Luis Valley and the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. Babies, this is one of the most awesome and amazing places on the face of the earth. It's the kind of place that would give you the inspiration to go hang gliding, let me tell you. Because you get up there in the air where you can see into them mountains, and holy guacamole, what a beautiful sight. I tell you, babies, it's just wow. There's nothing like, this is why it's still tempting to me even after all of that. There's nothing like the peace you get when you're up there and it's just you and the wind in your wires and this feeling I call God, the Great Spirit. And sometimes, the Spirit honors you with the presence of a big bird flying around with you. It's kind of cool, baby. There is just nothing like it. That's just it. Takeoffs and landings can be a little hairy, but boy, once you're flying there. You see, now, I draw great metaphors from that to life, because it's mooch, mooch, mooch the same. We get bored and we're just like taking off the top of a mountain, man. And it can be rough, but we always get took off somehow. Well, most do. A lot of us fall down somewhere along the way, but everybody gets a pretty good ride out of it, And it's all up to you. Once you're in the air, then it's up to you what you're feeling and seeing and doing with it all. You understand? We get pushed around. We get brainwashed by the culture around us. We get programmed by the teachings of our parents and people like that. The schools take us away early on and try to turn us into a bunch of socialist geeks. It just goes on from there. It's pretty crazy in this old world, but you're flying around in this old life, and if you can find that essential peace, baby, you'll find everything that you think you've lost and then some. It'll all come back to you. The deepest desires of your heart are being answered right now. If you but open your eyes to see them and embrace them and bring them on home, babies, because that's what we're in it for, man. Yes, indeed, that's what we're doing here. That's what our life is all about. And, babies, we just going to rock it out. That's all there is to it. Yeah, just do it, do it, do it. Oh, darlings, I lost the song here. I was going to start you up good today. Let me see if I can find another copy of it here This doggone old machine, man, is on me. It don't tell me it don't want to do it. It just says, I ain't doing it. But let's see if it'll do it this time. I'll try it. And if it don't, oh well. You know, we got to do it, man. We got to do it. No, it don't want to do it. I don't know why it is. That one just doesn't gonna work. Well, we're going to get that one back. Yep, we're going to get that one back in a good file that does work. You know, this old broadcasting program I use, it can be a little picky. It can be a little fussy. You know what I mean? A whole lot fussier than, say, just a plain old player. But I got to do it this way because this is the way it wants to be done. That's all right. We got thousands and thousands of songs here. We never run out of music, baby. You know, and right now we got old Booker T and the MGs hanging out here in the edges, been waiting in the green room forever. Now, these guys are from way back in the 60s. Totally instrumental, babies. Instrumental in changing the reality in which we live with a few simple melodies right from the heart with that tribal beat that gives you such a great start. Get you back in the vibe of the Vibe Tribe, babies. The Vibe Tribe of love, which is who you is and what you are. Yes, indeedy, babies. In humanity, you are a star. In the universe, you're a star and a half, man. Star and 3/4, maybe 2 times the star. Maybe you're a binary or a trinary. Ooh, triple the love, triple the life, man. Oh, darlings, I bet you are. I bet you, baby, you go floating around this old universe, everybody's going to want your autograph, man, and to steal your underwear, too, man. You're going to be in big, big trouble, but a good kind of trouble. I mean, they're all going to be hugging and squeezing. I mean, you know, you're going to have insecurity angels, insecurity guard to keep you from being insecure. Nah, babies. You know, as we step into this new paradigm called love, as the white buffalo energy arises across the face of the earth and brings clarity to each and every one, unity to all, oh, holy shit. It's a whole new call, babies. And we're going to have a ball because we're having it already. Right here on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network, babies. I hope you're ready for this. Now, you know Mary Jane, the sacred herb that we often indulge in here to help ourselves. I mean, she is the gateway to paradise, so we're just helping ourselves get into that paradise by participating with the Mary Jane. Also now, of course, now that it's legal here in Colorado and some other states, well, babies, you know it's finally being realized and researched that this is the most amazing miracle plant that ever there was. It's given from the abundance of the mother's heart. It's like the second plant to ever arise from creation, something like that. It is highly honored. It contains all the essence of the divine feminine and the masculine too. But it'll soften you up and help you open up if you're not too afraid. And if you are, well, baby, just embrace that fear and let it pass. Let it release itself from you. There's nothing here to be afraid of, babies. If you die, you're ascended. And I mean, you know, joined with all your friends and relatives and dogs and cats and horses and other animals that have played with you throughout the age. I mean, you know, you're together with everyone, everything. You're in total divine love. And if that's the worst that can happen to us, well, that ain't too bad. I mean, you know, sure, people here feel separate from you on this side of the fence. But that's a situation we're attempting to resolve right now, both through the Coyote Medicine Show and through the employment of your heart, babies. You see, because nowadays, when you're dying, you're coming back to life. Just like everything else in this world, it's the opposite of what it seems to be, of course. You know, if people remembered what was on the other side, you know, when it gets rough here, oh my goodness. There'd be too many of us going home. We can't do that. You know, we got to keep this one going so we can merge with that one, get the physical reality and the spirit more fully mixed. You know, I mean, like merged, melded, brought together, just put back together in the heart so that all of creation experiences itself dynamically in oneness, which means, wow, inside of us, we get to feel everything and everyone and every little piece in creation as it exudes its joy at being alive and being able to feel it. It's the most massive abundance ever shared across anywhere in any planetary reality or universal one to boot, baby. We're taking it to the limit. We're taking it to the max. We're bringing ourselves back to a real feeling place, which means that we are going to recreate everything. We're going to see it as it is, in other words, the truthful richness in all life living, by starting with our own and examining that first and, seeing the higher side. Piece of cake, really, guys, if you're just willing to go there and do it, That's all it takes is the willingness. If you got the willingness, you got the drive. There you are. And that just means, wow, can you relax enough to let yourself accept the reality of your own heart? Can you really spend some time alone and close your eyes and invite in the spirit, the angels, the love that is in all of creation to assist you in rediscovering yourself and rediscovering this life? Because, babies, if you can, if you're capable of doing that, you're in like Flynn. These are the times and ages that all of our ancestors have been praying for forever. And we got the audacity to bitch about anything? Well, of course. We're spoiled little baby brats, ain't we? Why do you think I always call us babies, man? Because we are. We're barely getting started. We're coming from the dumbest, lamest, most low-down, unprecipitous forms of creation that ever there lived. Sneaky snakes in every one of us. Yet look at the beautiful truth and the great love that we've exuded into this reality, despite all the awful, horrible restrictions and the meanness that we practice and the cold-heartedness that we've been practicing in this reality. Now, I'm not speaking for everyone. Of course, there are those exceptions that don't, but for the general rule, that's been the rockin' reality in which we've lived, and we just had to deal with it, babies. Hey, welcome all you guys joining in there in the chat room this morning. Appreciate you being here. You guys haven't been over to the chat room yet, get on over there, man. It's, Hazy, www.hayzyzradio.com / listen, LISTEN dash CHAT, chat. There, that'll get you into the chat room. It'll give you a funky name when you first sign in there. Just go ahead and sign in, baby. And it'll give you a funky name like Woogie Lips or something like that. And you just reach up there on that little icon that says Woogie Lips after you're signed in, and you can change your name to any old thing you want. And then you can sit over there and rap with us. We got kind of a family thing going on there in the chat room, right alongside the Coyote Medicine Show here as we're rolling along. Sometimes it gets so busy, makes me dizzy. I tell you, trying to keep everything rolling here. I got like 2 screens I'm working from, and pretty soon the 3rd. I'm getting set up for that, baby. We're going to be doing some doing here, babies, and a little rock and rolling, a little strumming and strolling. We're going to release you from all that imprisons your heart, babies, because that's what we do. We're here to love you so you can love yourself too. Because the love I reflect back to you as this little oracle, little skinny oracle I might add, as this little oracle, shining his love back to you. It's your own precipitous love, that which gives so much, that which brings the richness of the rain and the sunshine into yourself. And boy, the seeds that were planted so many generations back, the seeds of awakening, of ascendancy, of self-awareness, man, they've sprouted and grown quite a bit inside already, and they continue to do their Jack and the Beanstalk kind of thing, man. And all of your attitudes and ideas about how things are and how they ought to be and what you ought to be doing, changing rapidly, babies. You're feeling Poland's in the heart. Yeah, and I tell you what, it's been some ruggedy shit here lately. It has, gnarly, but boy, in a sweet way. I mean, there is no real ruggedness here, though we just continue to play it that way. Damn, ain't we a bunch of insane idiots at times? Yeah, there is insanity here. I mean, it's been this thing that's been cut loose from life and felt so terrible about it, been trying to fight its way back. That's what we've been dealing with. Energies like that inside of ourselves, as a part of ourselves. Whack. It has been so pissed off of the world that it's labored tirelessly to cause us pain and suffering and uneasiness and get us to fail at every turn and lay down and die. But when in death we found life, and we come right back again and do it all over again, and oh my goodness, again and again. a lot of us just rock on through. Some come for just one or two, but most go on and on and on and on. Those that just come for one or two, they're not really living. They're just here to experience and sweeten it up a little bit, share their energy, babies, and then they're flying, you know. But babies, you know, we worry so much about death. You know, it's been the biggest fear we face. You know, that's what war's all about. I'll kill you, you son of a bitch, because you ain't doing what I told you to. Oh, man, we got some crazy ideas. You talk about insanity. There it is right there. The worst kind of insanity, the idea that shooting at somebody's going to resolve a damn thing other than make more trouble for you and cause the world to a little suffering because somebody left us that didn't need to. You know what I mean? Shoot, guys. That's no fun. I don't know why anybody ever got off on that shit. And look, we got whole institutions been around killing people. And we call it military and we justify it, you know, but just a bunch of murdering pieces of shit. And sorry, guys, you are worthy hearts, each and every one of you. No insult intended, you know, to your heart and your existence. But in the general, well, how would you say that? Applications of things. That's what the military's been. It's been the lowest form of life we've ever discovered. I mean, it can't even crawl on its belly. It can't get up that high. I mean, the very basis of the whole thing in the military is killing. Killing to prove an idea. Like that's going to prove anything. Has it ever proven anything? Has it ever done us any good? Well, of course we gain and grow from everything, especially the most gnarly and difficult of experience. You know, when that kind of shit's on, all bets are off. And baby, it's been each person for themselves. You know, though you could bond together with, wow, but then you see the gathering and all of that. So, you know, even bad stuff promotes good stuff, you know, brotherhood and all of that kind of things. It brings up heroic activities and so forth. But look at it, you know, from this higher perspective, this place in the heart where you can really see it. What does it tell you about warfare? It's just a silly little drama, soap opera that we've created. High drama indeed, man. You know, I don't think General Motors would ever advertise on this old soap opera. Do you? Not at all, babies. I think we're finally getting together with this truthful thing that will see beyond the very idea that killing anybody is worthy of our time and attention, including ourselves, I might point out, because, you know, babies, a lot of us get so down and worn out that we just check out, you know, and that's no fun either. That's just like somebody shooting you. It's about the same thing, you know. It's a suicide one way or another. You can't let yourself live like that anymore. Can't let yourself die like that anymore. None of us. We can't be blown to bits by bombs, and we can't be dying of depression. We can't be dying of manic whatever. You know what I mean? It's time, babies, to feel the life within you and love what it is. You know I'm preaching to the choir here this morning, babies. I know a lot of you guys are already rocking and rolling, but this is for those that are still just getting up, babies. I mean, they're still just opening their eyes. You got to remember, old Grandpa's a wake-up call for a lot of people here, you know, myself included. Ding dong. Oh, babies, I love you. I'm mugging you up here, baby. And if you'd like to help us with your listener-supported radio, babies, just get on there to thecoyoteclub.com. Now it's TheKoyote.com. Oh, club. I mean club. You got to have that on there. KoyoteKlub.com. So The Coyote Club. Coyote spelled with a K, and it's spelled Koyote. Club is KLUB. And that's all lowercase, of course. It's got www in front of it, you know, and all that good stuff. But you get on over to that page there, babies, and you're going to find yourself an interesting ride, definitely. There's plenty of benefits at being acknowledging your membership here in the Vibe Tribe. It's what I call the Coyote family. It's a beautiful coffee mug that we're dispensing to you, hand imprinted with my own kind of artwork. Baby, something I created just from my heart, just for you, man. just so you could have that little bit of love and energy in your hands in the morning. Of course, there's always a lot of poetic symbology in any kind of artwork I'm going to be involved with, and this is a simple little piece with just a few hues. It's kind of a desert scene with the old coyote howling, singing to the risen sun right above the horizon. Right there in the sun as he's singing. See, that whole thing right there says something all by itself. And then if you look a little closer, you see representations of the divine masculine and feminine unified in the beauty of creation, bringing forth even the cacti from the desert. Darlings, we're fulfilling all of life's promises this lifetime. Ain't any of us that are in this heart going to check out and go away. Because number one, we're not doing that anymore. We're getting our official Coyote Coffee Club mug, and we are going to, babies, party down just like we do here every morning. It's just another little element. It gives you a little earthy element, a personal connection to the old grandpa. And it's also a statement to the world that, babies, hey, we all in this together. And I'm a member of the Vibe Tribe. Why ain't you? You know, it's kind of like when you used to be a turtle. Hey, are you a coyote? You damn right I'm a coyote. You know? If you don't say that, then you got to buy him a drink or buy him a mug, huh? Then there'll be a coyote. And we'll make a little bit of extra dough here, have a little fun, and we'll be able to support our listener-supported radio and keep our equipment running right and always work on improving the exposition of our heart and our music here as we fly around here and, you know, on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network each and every morning. Helping you get it right, babies, helping you understand. It's time to be wow, what you are. To love who you are and to know who you are. To hear the song in your heart. And babies, open your throat, open your eyes, open your mouth, and sing it. Of course, you got to fling into it first. So, babies, give yourself the time to communicate with your heart. Give yourself the time to experience the reality of who you are. Grandpa Coyote helping you crank her up this morning here. Get your morning coffee right. Get yourself off in flight. But baby, you're going to have a hell of a beautiful day as you go out and recreate in a different sort of way, huh? Babies, here's Petula Clark with something about Song of the Heart, I think. I don't know, baby. She's got it. Let her sing it, baby. Let her sing. Here's mugging you right now, getting mugged in the morning right now. Salute, my friends. Happy day. It's going to be really good, I can tell, all along the way, man. That is the most delicious coffee, man. I got this blend this week. Oh, baby. Get it down the wrong pipe every time. I got this blend this week that just turn you upside down and send you back home, man. I tell you, I got some little Central American blend I got from the gourmet store down here in Crestonia, Colorado, the Elephant Cloud Tea Shop, baby. The Elephant Cloud, if you're in town here in Crestonia at some time, is the first place you want to stop. Baby, they got the best produce in town, all organic for real reasonable prices. And guys, these guys are really trying. So if you're in town and you're hanging around here in Crestonia, don't forget to check out the Elephant Cloud. And boy, make sure you check out and see what they got in their music room that night. Yeah, we have, you know, a regular music room. We had Raising Appalachia there the other day. Man, we get some acts in here, you know. So, man, the Elephant Cloud and the Cloud Music Room, man, they're happening places here in Crestone, Colorado, and you may want to hang out. This is I'm just saying it, and nobody's paying me to give any commercials or anything. I just love that place, and I love the people running it, and I love the idea of it. You know, it's all organic. It's all vegan-oriented, essentially. They do have meat and so forth, too, but not that much of it. Just got a little of this and that, you know, but babies, they try to provide the highest quality organic food at the best prices possible. And we're really blessed to have such a store here in this town, you know. Not to mention it's the only gas station for 100 miles around, too. So kind of convenient that way as well. Good to have them back here, you know. Crestone's a very interesting place, filled with a bunch of interesting people. I'll tell you, You know, some people treat it like little Chicago, you know. They're always dispensing favors and so forth. It's keeping it in the family in that old mafioso sort of way. So we do have our issues here. We have our silliness, but we have, oh gosh, man, some of the people living here are some of the most decent-hearted folk you ever want to meet. Everybody pretty much here, I don't care who they are, even if they're part of our little Chicago, they're still pretty open and friendly with you, whoever you might be. So, babies, just pop on over if you feel like hanging out and having a cup of coffee with the old man. Give me a shot. Let me know you're coming, so I'll be around. And, babies, we'll hang out a little bit together, you know. Want to do some of these shows portably down there at, like the Shambhala or the Bliss in the morning, you know, one of those places. Get them going, man, you know, get them rocking, get them rolling, and interview some of our local residents here so you get an idea of the color of what's going on here. And, babies, if you want to be a correspondent where you are, if you want to take the portable microphone out with you and collect up a little bit of audio throughout the day, talk to some of your brothers and sisters out there about what's happening in their world, etc., babies, we'd love to hear from you. Get over there on Facebook, send me a personal message there, babies, and we'll get you going, man. We'll get you rocking and rolling. I want to have correspondence all over this earth. We got listeners everywhere, so let's see if we can't get some correspondence going on, too. People that we just call every now and then and check in with. Or like I said, you might want to go out and gather up a little extra audio throughout the day, something you can play back over a loudspeaker or something, you know, or maybe just collect it in your heart and just report it to us, you know, as, you know, and just tell us what's happening in your end of the world, what's going on in your life. We'll be amazed, and of course we are already, but we'll be amazed at how narrow is the avenue that we all travel no matter where we live. We're really doing mostly the same things at the same time as a collective, going through the same emotions, the same personal feelings, etc. You know, going through the same processes, coming back to life, finding the heart, you know. On some level and in some way, everybody is participating at the same time, doing the same basic thing. Yeah, baby. Yeah, we got a couple of thrift stores here in town, too. We got the Youth Project thrift store. You get some really good deals on little appliances and, you know, clothes and so forth. And we got what is it, Retro Rocket down there. I can't remember the name of the doggone thing, but it's a nice little thrift store there in the old Laughing Buddhist / Chuckling Jesus bar building there. It's been turned into a storefront now. And got this nice little thrift store there. It's right on the corner there, Alder, right across from the credit union, right across from the post office, next door to the Casa del Sol Hotel. So, man, you know, it's right there. It's easy to find. Beautiful little place and great deals. Go in there and tell Donna or Crystal or whoever happens to be working, Holly, tell them that, you know, old Grandpa sent you. And they'll know. And babies, you know, we got to scratch each other's backs here in the old Crestonia. So I do. I help everybody out too. You know, those that are helpful to me, I'm helpful to them too, babies. You know, we like to keep it in the family that way. And I'm telling you, there is a really good family forming up here. And of course, there's new people coming all the time now because of what's happening here. Just like there is, you know, many changes in your area, and you're feeling it in your own heart. Time to get up and get moving and get on with it. Go someplace else, do something else, you know, innocently, of course. But, babies, the heart is saying, it's time, you know, and it's pulling. And, babies, just listen. Yeah, just pay attention. Feel what the heart really desires for you. Perhaps if you give yourself some quiet moments, you'll even see a vision of it. You'll know where you're going to be and what you're going to be doing here pretty shortly, because you know you ain't staying in the same place for long, man. Yeah, you know, we got to get out of those old loops and get on with the love troops, baby. Get out here and just share the wealth of what we are. You know, so that means we give ourselves plenty of time to collect and gather. You betcha. You may seem like a recluse at times. You may not even like it. But at the same time, babies, you're going to love it, because when you're in those quiet moments, when you're in that stillness, you travel the universe. You travel time. You travel through life as if it's all joined together in a singular moment of time. And it's all accessible to you, past, present, future, anything expanded beyond time. You begin to grow beyond the dimension of time. Now think about it. Time is only the measurement of the sun coming and going here on the earth, daylight and night. So we divided it up and put it on a calendar, made hours and minutes and shit out of it. It's a complete fabrication. Yeah, and it's time we let go of our slavery to these mechanical clocks that measure our time here on earth and tell us we only got so much left. These calendars that tell you like, wow, you're getting old, Mr. Coyote. Ew, you better be careful. You ain't got but 20 years, man. Got a hell of a lot more than that, but they won't be years. When you fully step into that present moment we're talking about, you just step beyond time. You just step beyond life and death. And you just join all the realms together. Right there inside of you. And right there in your reality, too. See, this is how planetary ascension comes. One person at a time. One human being at a time. And you get all kinds of encouragement from the animal world and the bird world and the plant world and the sky world and the earth world. You know, do you feel the energy as you're walking along on good old Mother Earth? Wow. I tell you, it gets me back to feeling the old Delta blues and walking in Memphis, talking about walking on Mother Earth. Now, Memphis could be one of the craziest and most cruel towns you've ever seen, but it can be a real happening place. It's really odd. Here we are playing old John Henry, you know, in its original old Delta blues form. And it's amazing. Here I am, a Utah farm and ranch kid, grew up over there, you know, so far from reality that I didn't even think it existed anywhere. But yet there was the music. My brother used to sing that John Henry in the a cappella choir, so he'd be practicing that stuff around the home, man. And I got a penchant for that kind of music, and I started checking out whatever we had there. You know, we had Delta blues. We had a little Dixieland jazz. I could connect with the Delta roots, man, with Memphis and all of that, you know, and Jackson and Tupelo and all those places. I could connect with those places through the music, and I didn't even know that's what I was doing. I didn't even realize it was Delta blues that I was loving. But it was the beginnings of when people started to find freedom in their soul and began to express it musically, you know. It really happened long before World War II did, you know what I mean? Back about what they call the Roaring '20s, after World War I, there was a mini revolution just like there was in the '60s after World War II. But in the '20s it was a little more, you know, restricted, yeah. But at least people began to consider areas of the heart, etc., areas of consciousness, etc. You know, World War II was really a massive effort to try and crush and kill the soul of humanity, to put our heart away once and forever. It was Armageddon and a half. And hardly anyone realized that the real enemy was ourselves. And we were picking on ourselves for all of our deficiencies and inequities and attempting to blast ourselves right out of this reality. That's the truth behind all the machinations of World War II, and all the little skirmish wars since then have been nothing but profit-making ventures for the profiteers. You know, we can't allow that to go on here. Human life's far more valuable than that, and we all know it. We don't have to live like that. We knew that in the 60s, man, when we started to throw the yoke off back then. Well, babies, it's been tossed now. I was so impressed when, you know, old clownhead back there in D.C., some of those clownheads were saying, oh, let's go invade Syria. It's time to invade Syria. Aha! Another oil field. Oh, you son of a guns. You cut it out. You silly boy. But I was amazed. There were troops, hiding their faces, of course, but going on YouTube and saying, you send us to Syria, we ain't going. There was a rebellion in the frickin' U.S. Army and armed forces. I thought that was awesome, man. People really are beginning to wake up and see that this warfare is insanity, that we have never, ever accomplished anything other than suffering, and greatly so, from the practice of warfare, from the practice of killing one another over disagreements. You know, I know the practice is age-old and so ingrained in us we think we are essentially violent. But babies, that's all conditioning and programming. The same way World War II was, man. You ought to take a look at some of the old cartoons and movies from back there in the early 40s when that war was being fought and Americans were being programmed to be Rosie the Riveter and G.I. Joe and get out there and be Kilroy was here everywhere you go. You know what I mean? I mean, they turned the whole nation, this whole continent really, into a war machine. And even the women and children were participating in the industrial aspects of it. It was horrible. And it really was an attempt to crush the soul, kill the will of the people, subjugate them right to the lower realms of hell where you could control every movement they made and keep them low, keep them stuck there forever. Well, of course, as in the old story, Armageddon doesn't work out for the ones who wish to destroy us. The heart always wins. Love always finds itself in every moment of life, and you cannot kill it. You can shoot us down, you can mow us down, you can cross us up, you can burn us, etc. Behead us, etc. Wow. But you can't stop humanity. You can't stop this heart from growing into consciousness because it lives inside of you even as you're killing your fellow persons. Jeez, guys. When are you going to wake up? When are you going to see what's really down there, the other end of the gun barrel, the other end of the bomb? When are you going to realize it hurts you more than it does these others? At least in death they find the release to go home and be loved. And love like crazy, love like you've never seen before, love like you've so forgotten you don't even know it exists. You think death is a horrible thing. You think it's something to be afraid of. It's not anything to encourage. It can be harsh if you do. But babies, if you just aren't afraid of it, it's unlikely it'll ever have anything to do with you. If it does, it'll just bring you back to life. See, so we send consciousness to those folks in any of these areas, our cities here in the U.S. where there's warfare going on, has been for many, many decades now, you know, to all of these cities across the earth in similar conditions, to all of the nations and tribes that would seek to fight with one another, their leaders and their soldiers. Let's just have everybody wake up. Be like, you know, soldiers when they go to war really should be going to peace and should recognize their enemy as someone less fortunate than themselves and should reach out with the heart to help him in many practical ways. Lay down the weapons and start digging ditches and irrigating fields and planting, you know, beautiful flowers and food for the people and all that kind of stuff, you know. Tend the sick, heal the sick, raise the dead, you know, make them all want to dance out of their head. Make them happy, babies. You want to defeat an enemy, that's how you defeat one in yourself, in service to others. And babies, it does work. I know there's a lot of people that say you can be way too selfless and you can give way too much, etc., and you let all the vampires take advantage of it, etc. But if you recognize the limitless nature of the love inside of you, there ain't no vampires. There ain't anybody can eat you alive at anything. You can only grow in love, and you can only share the wealth of this love, which is unending. And none can be taken energy from you because all the energy just overwhelms them. It doesn't stop. They start to gobble in this flow, and babies, they're melting down right into their own rainbowic reality. There is no more of the density we've called darkness. You see? That's the beauty and the truth of being in love inside of yourself. And if you're in the military, babies, as a general or whatever, you know, be recognizing this. Be recognizing what you really are. If you're going to go spend trillions and go hog wild for money and, you know, you might as well do it for creative purposes so you can feel good about yourself again. For heck's sakes, man. You know, the U.S., you know, of all of its gluttony and all of its industrial prowess and its technological advances, and we can kill people without, you know, with flies nowadays. You know, we're just crazy, man. We're nuts. But all of our arrogance could become the greatest of generosity. It could completely change. It could be 180 from what it is now. And instead of trying to enslave the planet, much in the way the Nazis tried to in World War II, because we become what we hated, babies, back in those days. We become now the Nazi Empire. Like it or not, there's the U.S. of A. With it might as well have a swastika over the star patch, because that's what you've become, you lowlife, you know what. But I love you. I don't judge you. I'm just really disappointed that you had to play it this way. But I'm also happy that you're growing and changing, that you're coming back inside of your life, that you're finally finding your heart and getting it going again. It's about damn time, because shit. You've had your fun mucking around. World War II was your orgasm, and look where that got you. Nowhere. And you want to do this again? How? You guys learn, man. Pay attention to your heart. Let go of that which controls you. And it no longer will control you. It's just that simple. You're the one that has volunteered into the slavery. You're the one that's been controlled by the so-called darker forces, the energies of the draconians and so forth. But you don't have to be in that place, no matter how badly traumatized and programmed you are. Your heart is arising. You know better. See? Time to turn it around, baby. Whether you're a foot soldier, a general, a corporate emperor, or whatever. Time to show the people that you care. Get the goddamn chemicals out of our food, too, before I start throwing rocks at you now. I'm getting tired of this shit. You can't poison these people or this planet no matter what you do. We just neutralize the toxicity. You're not going to do it because you're poisoning yourself. You know better, guys. Sheesh. Give it up while you still can. Let the love take you, babies. Let it help you show the world that you're not such a bad sort after all. That you really got something more to gain here than, wow, a few pieces of silver and gold and the power that supposedly goes with them. Come on, guys. That's not what it's all about. It's all about making love with humanity. It's about fulfilling your deepest desires, those desires that are born in the heart, that know things can be lived differently. It's about finding contentment in a way that you've never known before. A real contentment that lasts forever, and no longer will you feel conflict inside of your heart. You'll be together with all the people. You'll be together with everyone and everything. Babies, in a very real way. It's not something you have to ascribe a belief to, because belief says, I don't know. So I'm taking this fictionary premise, this theoretical premise, and putting it into play, because that's what I got to believe. Hey. Well, sometimes that gets us someplace, not all bad. But to recognize the superficiality of belief. When it's a reality you're living in, it's quite a different story. There's no belief in that. You just live it. Then you learn to trust the ways of the heart by living it. How do you get there? Again, sit back in the old easy chair. Get yourself out in nature. Close your eyes. Invite some assistance. Be in that space. Open the palms of your hand. Be in that space. Be looking in yourself. Be looking in this reality for real solutions. And they come to you. They come through you. They turn you on. And they turn your life around, babies, from the pits of hell to the pinnacles of paradise in a heartbeat. That's how quickly this can and does happen for you, because it's happened that way many times for me too. And finally now, the big step, the one step, finally showing itself up here. And it's sweet to be alive in this reality and rocking and talking and rapping and rolling here on the Coyote Medicine Show. Ain't this fun? Isn't this the way things really ought to be all the damn time? I think so, babies. I just think we ought to be doing this all the damn time. All the blessed time. Understood? You see what I mean, Jelly Bean? You're rocking and rolling with the old Coyote Medicine Show. Is your heart finally starting to get the flow? Is your life starting to really glow? I mean, there is no end to the possibilities here. As we grow into our creative side, holy shit. I mean, look what we've done with music. From the Mississippi Delta blues to the rock and roll of Elvis to the wow, Moody Blues, the Beatles, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Beach Boys, man, creative dudes and dudettes all over this world. Judy Collins, man, all of them, and just all of them. Just, it's amazing what we've done with the music and how we get so much out of it when all we're doing is trying to keep ourselves entertained and flowing through life. I mean, movies like to have background music, and that's the way we like to treat it. So we listen to all these songs, we get some enjoyment out of them, we dance our fannies off sometimes, party, but that music goes with us. I don't know about you, but my life is like a living symphony. Whatever I'm doing, wherever I am, there is always a song playing in my heart. Always. And it, projects itself into my mind so I can hear it. As if it's playing right there, live and in living color, just like the background music in the movies, In the movies, they use it as mood swingers and so forth. Get you in the mood of whatever that moment is in your life. Same thing. Gets you in the mood of the moment, man, or represents the mood of the moment musically so you can begin to comprehend it. See, music is the language of the heart in the third and fourth dimensions. The vibrations of music are extremely important here, because that's what we're made of, is musical harmonic vibrations, and everything around us, too. You see, and now, as we expand into consciousness, we're just barely learning how this music really applies here, how we really are a living symphony, and this is why we live it in the ways that I represent here. In the conscious person is always a song playing. We are the music, the vibrations. That's why many have attempted to manipulate us through music, but it hasn't done anything but backfire on them, because music cannot be corrupted. It's the one thing on earth that is so elemental, it's pure. These musical, harmonic, vibrational tones that we create with our various instruments and our very own hearts and our very own throats, etc. From this sacred vessel of love can come some of the most awesome and amazing and moving music. I mean, it's like everybody's Barbra Streisand or the Allman Brothers or America or Aerosmith or any of those kind of people. We're all in that vibe. Each one of us has that potential. The more we open our heart, the more we begin to sing the songs we're hearing. The more we begin to live a life that's totally in complete harmonic vibration with the universal heart in each and every one of us. Wow, baby. Like it's out of sight. You betcha. Way past that half a moon that's hanging there in the sky this morning. Way past anything else that might be there saying, hey, we're in the way. And we're saying, no, you ain't. Because we freaking love you, babies. This morning is the day of love. Babies, this is like, we hereby declare, this is the day of love, man. Love expands everywhere, man. The day of love's grand expansion. Why not, Was yesterday, might as well be tomorrow. Let's make it today, babies. And just keep flying and just keep playing and just keep saying, hey, babies, we got the stuff right here inside. Yeah, just feel it. And as old Grandpa reaches out now and touches your heart, all this good energy, all these good angels working with me, all this good energy flowing through me, babies, here you are. It is indeed the key to your heart. We're awakening now, you betcha, and getting that new start. Boy, on this day, man, the sunrise is in our heart already, whether it's coming up in the sky in your place or not. Right now, it's rising up inside, babies. That means you're feeling the light and the love, and you're being the light and the love. Oh, yeah. No sense fiddling around with it, babies, or hanging out with a mopey frown. Babies, get over here on this side of town. Get high and happy. Know what it is that you've really found. Hey, you're going to want to stick around this morning on this old Coyote Medicine Show. Got some good stories for you. Got some fun going on. And hey, guys, we're looking for correspondence wherever you may be out there in humanity. That means wherever you are, babies, you know, you can be a correspondent here on the Coyote Medicine Show, which means, you get special privileges. You get to call in and talk to us just about any time we're on the air, babies. You know, you can talk about anything. You just report on everything, you know, whatever's going on in your area that seems to affect and influence the greater outcome of all. You can even talk about what's going on inside of you, some of your personal changes that you're facing in the moment. So, babies, you know, you just keep yourself in a good rock and roll flow here on the old Coyote Medicine Show. And, you know, help spread it out, man. Help everybody realize how common this energy is, how great these changes are, and how universal they are, too, you know. So, babies, if you want to be a correspondent here, just shoot me a little PM over there in Facebook, and, babies, we'll hook up and we'll get this thing rocking, you know. Going to get my Skype set up so I can talk to you wherever you are, you know, through this here old broadcaster. It's a little bit tricky, and right now I'm focused on getting them good old official Coyote Club coffee mugs. They're in your hands, babies. I'm going to ship them out today. Hee-haw! And it's about time, ain't it? Yeah, it sure is, man. So we're doing that now, and we're doing it right. Right here as you take flight on this Coyote Medicine Show, only and exclusively, where at? On the Hazy Radio Network, baby. The rockin'est network around, the rockin'est network on this side of town. Good morning to you, babies. Woo, let's get to strolling, let's get to flying, let's get to fluffing up them wings, and, oh man, just see what we can do with them things, okay? Yeah, take it to the limit, babies. Take it to the limit. Oh, yeah. Pretty soon now, you're going to be a uniform person. You're going to be the new form of human being. And it's really unusual because, yeah, we're going right back to where we were at the beginning of the times, you know. We're actually, you know, returning to our light body right here inside this old carcass that we play with right now, this old vessel of love. Forgive me for calling them carcasses, but babies, they have been, and for a bunch of us for a long time, you know. We just been wearing them like a carcass. You know, just getting through life and just doing what we had to do to make it work and get us through. You know, a few special moments here and there, a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of light, but not much of a life, you know. Now, babies, is the time we get to live. L-I-V-E with caps on every letter, man. I'm telling you, it is the time of life. The time of life. We've waited so darn long for these moments. You know, we have lived, many of us, many lives, bringing this energy forward through the days of uncreation, through the days of sheer hell and terror, through the days of the greatest heartaches ever created anywhere. Babies, we've been there, done that, as a human family, as a human collective, as a human heart, which is the universal heart, which is the Mother Gaia's love inside of us, her heart, augmented by the Father's heart, which gives it the durability, the strength to keep on trucking. You see, they work perfectly together in the mystical reality, these mother and father energies. Perfectly. And the mother is the original energy from which the Father came to you. See, he was born inside of her. You know what I mean? Just like everybody else. Kind of strange how this goes, but that's the way it rolls. You know, when you start going back in the histories of time, the mysteries of time really inside of yourself, you start to get a whole different take on things. You start to realize this world really ain't what it appears to be. This life really ain't what it appears to be either. We're just living it, babies. Because somewhere deep, deep, deep down in that heart, we're loving every moment of it. At that soul level, which is the heart level, the deep heart level, babies, we got it going on. We're happier than a swimming upstream, man. I'm telling you, we are. You know, we're going up there to, you know, drop them eggs and get them kids to rocket, man, you know, and have a good time doing it, too. You know, we're happy. We're headed upstream, man. You know, we're happy little fishies swimming in from the sea, coming up to see what life holds in store for us and the exposure of the divine mystery inside of ourselves. That's the babies we're giving birth to now. The new reality, the new person. The person that is. And I'm telling you, babies, it's original. It's nothing. I mean, even though it is kind of like the original light beings, it's nothing compared to where we've been. Nothing. I mean, it's all just water under the bridge. Where we go now is all new. It really and genuinely and sincerely is. In this creation, we are recharging the essences of life inside of ourselves and moving on to ever higher states of being, ever higher states of consciousness. Living through the realms of the dimensions, stretching our conscious mind, our conscious heart throughout all of that, and living simultaneously in every bit of it, which means we just stepped beyond time. The old measurement of the sun coming and going. I feel that sun coming up inside of y'all this morning, man. Boy, and it's coming up powerful. Just like it does here on the earth. We ain't even got, oh yeah, we're getting a little bit of blue daylight out there now. Moved my plants outdoors yesterday. They were looking a little sick inside here, so I thought, babies, you need some fresh air and sunshine. Let's see how you handle that. See if that don't get you going a little better. Get you out of these old pots and get you planted in the ground where you belong, babies. You know, now I just have to kind of protect them in case we get frost. The weather's been really odd this summer, man. Been cool summer pretty much all along. Few warm days lately now. Now it's starting, we get hit September, we start to get our Indian summer on, man. So maybe these little plants will just be blossoming like crazy here in a few days. That'd be awesome, man. Yeah, we got to have some really righteous Mary Jane. You know, homegrown is the way to do it. Put your own heart into it. Talk to these plants. Love them, man. Be with them, you know, no matter what they're doing. You know, they're plants, you know, they have their own ways, but you got to respect that and let them be that. Yeah. But at the same time, love them, because they are sacred beyond belief, as are most plants, really. But Mary Jane has a special, sacred aspect. She is the plant, the one plant. You see, and the reason why she's been illegal, because she is so helpful to people, that it would have put the medical establishment pretty much out of business, pharmaceuticals right along with it, etc. And what's this old world all about but making money, you see? I've even heard hospital administrators standing around talking to the doctors about how they can prolong procedures and make a few extra bucks, etc., etc. I mean, health care should never be a business. Neither should religion either, or spirituality of any sort. Nothing should be sold like that. These are gifts. These are awakenings. These are, you know, people helping people, and we should do that right from the heart and just quite naturally. You see how far we've gotten away from our true reality? How cold and deadly we've become when money means more than life. When you'll take old people into hospitals and rest homes and milk their estate until they have nothing to leave to their children. They all left it to you. Well, nothing much has changed. I mean, you know, it's been going on like this for centuries without end, man. You know, we get all these legal beagles and all these medical professionals, etc. Not all of you, but babies, 99% or something like that is a big number, you know, just are there to take advantage of your fellow human beings. Because that's the way you're raised, that's the way you're trained. You don't know any better. You know, you practice the medical profession because you want to feel good about yourself and make a ton of money. Well, geez, I've heard doctors talking that we're making $64,000 an hour doing laser surgeries on eyes. That's an obscenity. That's an unreality. I mean, that's worse than any porn you ever seen, or equally as bad as any porn you ever seen. I mean, so to speak. Things are all relative, but, you know, this is just how far out of line we've gotten, how unconnected we've become, how separate and isolated and alone we are. You know, I mean, that's the only way coldness can come up in that way, that you could actually be that obscene about the way you make your living and think it's good and brag about it to your friends. I've heard it happen, babies, right here in my own little personal life, and I'm sure you've encountered some of this too. It's unavoidable. It's in every profession, really, but the medical and pharmaceutical, they've been really, really obscene. You know, they really have. And I live for the day they're out of business, when all of us are so dang healthy, we're just happy and high, and temples are just monuments to old bullshit that we don't need to live in it anymore. You know, it's time to get out of that attitude and get back into the attitude of gratitude, baby, so you really appreciate the life you're living and what it's been giving you, too. There's nothing wrong with accumulating a little wealth. But, babies, in this new paradigm, you don't do that by amassing money. And in fact, in the old one, you didn't do it that way either. If you wanted to be happy about it, you could have all the material wealth you wanted, but it was always empty. There's nothing in it. The rewards are, you know, unrewarding. They're tasteless. They're heartless. You got the big fancy house and it's cold as an iceberg and there's no way to heat it because your heart's just not in it. You see? You got the toys, you got the Maserati, you know, and you don't drive it. Just like poor old, you know, Joe Walsh, man. He goes 185, but he ain't driving it because he got a ticket. You know, you got those fancy little airplanes. I had this one friend at one time, had several of them, airplanes and several houses around the world, you know, was really living a high life, and then all of a sudden it was gone, you know. Took the wind out of his sails, I tell you. But, you know, we always get what we dish out. It's our intention that sets the creation in motion around us, you know. And if you're living from that colder space, you're going to have a colder influence, and that's what most of life is going to reflect back to you. Except for that's really trying to get you to change. It'll reflect something different to you. And maybe it'll do it in a harsh way. Maybe it'll call you a low-life piece of doo-doo just to get you to look at what you're up to. Just to consider that element in yourself that is so corrupted by this financial system, you see, out of need and necessity to maintain a certain level of comfort. You've compromised yourself 100 billion times. You know, and that ain't a worthy journey. Person shouldn't have to compromise one little bit to have a comfortable life. In fact, that should be your natural state of being without ever having to spend one day at so-called work, whatever that might be. We don't work for compensation. It's insanity. That's coldness. That's falling for the old ways, babies, and that's just being in those old ways. It's being silly as all get out. Yeah. It's letting the coldness rule, because money has no consciousness. No conscience whatsoever. It's an elemental idea that somebody put into motion at some time way in the past, and then continually added corruption to it because people became more and more ravenous. They turned their natural impulses, trying to draw them on home and bring them back to the heart, into this massive search for money, this insanity that's just taken us so away from ourselves and doesn't really allow us to live within ourselves. That's what we're here changing. That's what we're here to change. The attitude is gratitude. And when you see things from the heart level, when this heart really does begin to open up, as it's doing right now, and we're conveying those energies to help you do that, the key to your heart indeed, baby, is it's opening. Now you begin to feel the very thing that money seemed to take away from you, you know, your feeling. The thing that made you cold and unfeeling, numb inside. Now comes the feeling. Now you begin to return to the heart. And babies, we are all in this together. It's not just you. But in you is everyone too, so understand it works that way. And we all are coming out of the coldness. There's a few that lead the way, and a few more right behind them leading the way for others, and a few more right behind them, and the numbers get bigger as you go along. It's the largest successful pyramid scheme ever promulgated in any reality. Babies, we humans, when we do it up, we do it right. We really are the colorful beings of reality. We take our darkness and decompress it and make it into rainbow love, man. Rainbow energies, the very primary elements of life. You see, that's what we do with our experience, too. All of our experience in the darkness, all of that God-blessed pain, frustration, agony, whatever the hell you want to call it, we find the loving way in that. As this heart opens up and you give yourself time to live in this reality, you give yourself the time to take it easy. And you get out in nature, too, as often as you can, and do some communing out there, too. I don't care if the ants are crawling on you, flies are biting you, whatever, man. Just be there in it. Convey this peaceful attitude out into this reality, and the ants will crawl away, and the flies won't bite you anymore either, and you'll have a lot better time out there in nature. We created these kind of tortures, believe it or not, in some kind of nightmare we lived, maybe 25, 27,000 years ago, when we pretty much blew the planet up. Had to come back from zero again. Babies, this time, we're getting it right. This time we set it up well in advance. This time it happens because the human heart decided, finally, after all of these centuries and eons of time, that it's time to come home to the reality of our loving self. It's time to see the star inside awakening, to see the light flowing from you rather than to you, even though it goes both ways. To see more than the interconnectedness with life, to literally live in the love that does connect us, that makes all of us universal. When I say all of us, I'm talking about the entirety of creation. From the smallest of handmade configurations to the largest of natural wonders. It is all love. Each and every element of it, and it's all expressed as love. Because we live in love. That's our reality. That's our truth. Money and everything associated with it, all that corruption, all the murder, death, pain, tortures. Oh my. What we'll do for money. How we fight over money. How we like, these guys. Well, I think that whole need, that whole paradigm of greed and emptiness, because we're starting to come back to the heart, because we're opening up and taking flight, here right into the sunrise of daylight. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because of all of that, babies, we no longer have to worry about it. The money thing is dying inside of us. And as it does, money loses its value, and will no longer be able to purchase that which it was able to before. It'll just fall away. The need to purchase anything, the need to be buying anything, the need to be selling anything. When you move from a creative space in your heart, well, the world really does open up to you, all of it. And you know what I was talking about, intention, and walking through your life in that intention, creating your life and everything that goes with it? Well, when this intention becomes as pure as the baby, innocence arising from inside of the depths of your heart and becoming the preoccupier of your existence, the primary energy, in that innocence is the greatest gratitude, and that gratitude is the greatest of creation. This is why the world opens up to you. You're seeing signs of it already, and these are just indications. And your friends are going to get curious, start asking questions. Be as subtle as you can. Each person's got to find it in their own way. We're not here to lead each other to the old water and trough at all. We're here to kind of point the way, as we find it ourselves. See, we're in it together. No one is the guru. No one is the master. No one is the slave. No one is the teacher. No one is the student. It's all bullshit. These are just positions and powers we assigned in our demented state to get us through. Structures we created to hold us together, so that as we were subdued and put into the land of darkness, the land of undreams, we could stay alive long enough to get out of it again. Come back with an ever stronger appreciation for what we held before and what we hold now in our beautiful hearts as we begin this awakening, this divine session of awakening that's spreading across the earth, just like the sunrise does each and every day. Except that's what I mean by sunrise inside, babies. It's the arousal of the divine intelligence in you and your existence in it in fullness. You understand your place, your play. The intention shifts completely from where it was before to where it ought to be all the time. Consciously, presently. No longer do you live in this subdued state where you have to rely on the so-called subconscious to get you there. That becomes a part of your conscious presence. All the realms open to you. Everything that exists is seen and lived with. And we leave out nothing. And where we once thought we saw emptiness, we see nothing but life, living and loving very, very happily. Because it all reflects from inside of you. Remember, your intention sets forth creation. When you live in this heart, you are creation. And you experience every bit of it. Talk about contentment. Talk about an orgasm based in that contentment. An orgasm that comes from the heart. When the old spiral torus, that little donut of love that surrounds your heart, just explodes into this reality, man. Creation takes off in this new way. The feeling, the depth of feeling, the height of feeling that we can accomplish while we're still attached in the material way, yet de-densified greatly. Change these bodies back into the young beings and young presences that we always are. No matter how ancient we be, we carry our own beauty. These bodies have been just a vehicle, a lesson plan. Goes from A to B to C and all that shit, you know. And we've just lived in it dumbly. But, babies, we have deeply appreciated every moment that we've lived. And we're still doing that. And now we're just beginning to remember and realize it, you see. No, Grandpa's just here helping you. Lube up the wheels, lubricate your heart, get things going just right. Get you headed in a good direction. Because, babies, just like coffee, that's what we do for you.